Hello, so I just wanted to give you a tip today, or some tips on making things a little bit easier for yourself if you're in a situation like me on a trip where you don't know what you're going to come across. So for example, if we're on the boat cruising along, I don't know if a heron's going to jump out or if I'm going to want to take a picture of something in focus with a blurry background, that kind of thing. So it could be action, it could be something stationary, so it's kind of being prepared as possible for anything. Okay, so on your camera, and this can apply for little compact cameras as well as DSLR cameras or compact systems, mirrorless kind of cameras as well. Okay, but it's getting to know some key settings and almost like presetting them for yourself so that you're ready for anything. Okay, so for example, on this kind of camera or DSLR, you might have a dial that has things like your P, TV, AV, or if it's a Nikon, it might say S or A, that kind of thing, and you might have the good old M for manual. Now, lots of people strive to be on manual all the time, or as much as possible, and I do shoot on, that's just Ted running around, I do shoot on manual a lot, but occasionally if I'm in a situation where things are very varied, I might preset my aperture and my shutter priority modes so that if suddenly something happens and I haven't got time to adjust settings, I can flick it on and I know what it's set on. So for example, so on this camera, it's a Canon, so I have P, TV and AV, and I have M. Okay, so I might be shooting on manual, and then what I will have done is I will have preset my shutter priority mode to TV. Okay, so I might have set that ready for action, so I'm gonna set that on something like 1/500 or 1/800 if it's a really bright day, so I know if something suddenly happens, there's suddenly some action I need to capture and I haven't got time to adjust things, I can flick it straight round onto that setting, onto the TV or S if that's what your shutter priority mode is. Okay, and it's ready to freeze action. It's going to do that for me. Okay, the same goes for, I might preset, just checking Ted's not going to jump in, my aperture priority to something. So if I know I might suddenly need a picture where it's quite a big depth of field, so a big F number, so I'm going to get lots of things in focus. If I need that quickly, because I shoot a lot of pictures where I have a small F number and I have perhaps one thing in focus and lots of blur in the background, so I shoot on that a lot. So it might be that on my manual settings, Ted, leave that alone. On my manual settings, I'll have it on a fairly low F number. So if I think actually there might be a situation where suddenly I need that bigger depth of field very quickly, I'll preset that AV, that aperture value, to a bigger F number. Okay, so then I can be happily pottering around doing what I like on manual mode, just shooting general shots kind of thing. Suddenly some action happens, I can flick it onto TV. So suddenly I need a shot where I've got a very, very sort of big depth of field, I can put it onto AV and I'm kind of ready to go. So I'm not going to miss the moments, because sometimes we'll go out with a specific kind of goal in mind in terms of picture taking, but other times when we're on a trip or on holiday or a day out somewhere we don't know what we're going to come across, and we may need to respond to things quite quickly. So preset your dials. Okay, the same goes for, Ted, leave that please. The same goes for if you've got a camera that's got preset scenes, okay, and you use those. Learn what they are. Okay, pick a couple that are really favourites, but pick one that is the one that you are likely to need to use quickly in a hurry, and you can preset it on that. So then, say for example, it might be like a handheld nighttime or sunset or something. Then when you flick it onto that mode, it will still be there from last time. Okay, so work out what kind of settings you think you might need generally on your day out in all sort of eventualities. Okay, so you might need action, you might want something depth of field kind of thing, you might want something that is like sunset or handheld nighttime, something like that. So you could preset them, so then you just got to turn the dial around and you know that they're on there from before. Okay, so that's just a bit of a tip on making things as simple as possible, so you don't have to stand there and go, oh hang on a minute, I've left my camera on a really long shutter speed because I was doing something last night, or it's not quite, or I've left it on this or I've left it on that. You've got those kind of you're kind of like ready to go. Okay, so give that a go, have a little look at your camera, learn some settings that might work well for you. Okay, and see how you get on. All right, so that's my tips today on getting your camera ready for what you're doing, so that you're ready to respond to whatever comes across your path. All right then, bye.